Alright, hey, sorry for the crappy quality. I'm using the computer camera again, and some of you might know what this is, some of you might not. My friend was over here, showed me a picture of it, and I was like, yeah, I could probably make that. And what it is it's a mini barbecue. Not counting the time it took me to find all the pieces to make it, like the drill and the screws, but if I had all this stuff with me, I could probably make one of these in about 5 minutes. Well, probably 10 because the whole rack takes a long time to do. But what you do is you have your can, and I took a drill and drilled one hole, two hole, right before it starts to kind of slope. And I took a scissors. I probably could have taken an X-Acto knife or something, and you just kind of cut to your desired thing, or you can just cut the whole thing off. Some people do that. I like it like this because if you blow, it kind of blows down into there, hits at the coals or whatever. You cut it up, you lift this up. I took some screws, probably half an inch apart, all the way across the can, and then in here on the inside, if you take your tab and you push it open, your smoke comes out of there most of the time. If you decide to close the lid, I'm trying to find a way to make it stand up a lot better. But oh, well, I guess this thing just decides to come off now. I guess it's good to stay open. But what I do is I take like wood chips, really thin pieces of wood. I mean, my hand, it covers a good deal of it. So I take a good amount of wood chips, and I had some sand, like I was sanding, had some sawdust, and sprinkled it in there. And that's what's kind of stuck to the bottom, but I kind of got most of it out. But it kind of burns and gives it that campfire smoky smell to it. And then I just took screws, pushed it through the front here, and then pushed it through the back here, and then kind of screwed it out like that. So this is kind of a watch out part, but I'll get a regular crayon and just set it on here so you can kind of have a scale size of how big this is. And I've used it quite a bit. It works fairly well. If you what I do like to do best is don't use like lint or hairspray or stuff like that to get the thing started, or else whatever you cook on here, like smokies or pieces of ham, it doesn't taste good. So I use sawdust or wood chips. It has to be super dry or it won't burn for very long. Or I take the coal or charcoal or whatever, and I cut that in half and lay two in there, get its lighter fluid or starter fluid or whatever, put it on there, and watch your fingers when you do it. Sometimes I stick the match in through here and light it instead of sticking my hand up here and burning my hand. I guess there's so many different ways you can do it. Like with a Rockstar can, I guess you can just twist the top off. Red Bull can, it would just be super small. Mini, I would use, because I think I used 2.5 inch screws for this. I probably could have, if you do like a Red Bull can, you could probably just use 1.5 inches or just an inch. I don't know. But the grooves on the screw are kind of nice because it keeps the food kind of still. And for the legs, I just took screws in here, screwed them through. I'm sure if I spent more time on it, it would stand a whole lot better than it does now. Oh, this screw came out. So yeah, that reminds me, this is how you clean it. So let's say you're using it, whatever, and it's like super mucked up in there. You have like a lot of ash, and it's nice and cool. What you do is you just take it and you unscrew it, and then you do that for all of them. Dump it out, whatever. And then what I do when I'm not using this thing, I won't do it now because it'll take too long on the video, but I take all my screws out and then put them in here set them in here, and what I did up here is I put a screw that lines up with this one right here, so that way when all the screws are in there, I can close all the way and stick this screw through this hole, so it kind of closes it like a can, and just kind of sits upright. And you'd be like, what is that? And you just got a bunch of rattling screws in there. I should have known that these things would heat up once you have heat, so I guess it's not a good idea that when you have a flame going on this, not to use these to turn your food like marshmallow sticks. Oh, I guess you can put marshmallows in here to start a fire, because those things always catch on fire. That's pretty much it. Some people will take the entire hatch off and put like a gate, like a small gated net kind of gate thing on top of it. That's what was in the picture, but I figured that it would move around too much, so I like it like this. The screws are super sturdy. If there's something on there, it ain't going anywhere. There's still things that can always be improved. If you think there's something I could have done better than this, let me know. I mean, I would probably cut these screws off in the back or weld them to the can if I want to keep them there permanently. But I like to take them out and clean them and store the can. People are like, well, how would you close the can? Well, I don't, because if you blow on the back part, it kind of goes down into here, so that way if you blow directly in here, the ash doesn't come up and hit you in the face. There's so many cool things you can do with recyclable stuff. Yeah, like, comment, leave me more ideas of things I can make.